Tip for tat here for GSL.
3.
Let's get into it.
2. 1.
All right, in the bottom right here, losing map number 1. Can he win map number 2? This is
Chivo, SoO.
Tons of fans here in the crowd. No surprises there. And the top left in the red, the Chinese Terran currently up 1. This is
Newbie, Time.
Now, here's what I'm really interested in. What style does Time show us here? Because he's definitely shown that he knows how to play all the different styles. He has great variety. But I almost feel like that was a bit of a detriment to him in some previous tournaments where he's busting out, for instance, some mech plays where his bio just looks a little bit stronger for his style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that aggressive, always in your face multitasking style.
Yeah,
a few of the more aggressive Terrans like. I agree with you there. But Time is so good with battle mech as well, Artosis, and it is battle mech. You know, no regret is wrong. It's battle mech.
Yeah.
What did he call it? Mobile mech?
Who even knows? Who listens
what
to
an
that guy?
insane person.
Yeah.
Well. So battle mech is something that Time is really, really, really good with. He showed that he actually could go toe-to-toe with the best Zerg in the world, Seoul, as well, with that style. So, of course, there is a lot of things that the Zerg can do. SoO is the kind of guy that if he sees battle mech or something like that, instead of just playing the longer game, he'll just be like, oh, I'll just virtual in you.
Yeah.
Which battle mech really sucks against.
Absolutely. Well, this is why I actually thought that SoO would be a pretty good matchup against Time, because Time is an aggressive player, generally speaking. SoO is not a late-game Zerg, right? He's not a rogue. He's not a Seoul. He's more like a Rainer type, where it's like, okay, his mid-game is just magnificent, right? His early game very, very strong as well.
Some great signs out there in the crowd. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Tons of Korean and also non-Korean fans out there. It's a good mix.
Oh, yeah. So many people came down. It's just crazy. It's people standing everywhere. There's no seats left.
Yeah. This place catches fire. We're all dead. And it is heating up, Artosis, so that actually could happen.
I tell you. These matches are on fire right now.
Damn straight.
So the first Reaper going to come in, get a little bit of harassment done. I'm excited to see, though, you know, during this harassment, what the build order is going to look like from Time. Does he just throw down the third command? We don't see a second gas yet, so it could be that same type of build that we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Artosis. You know, you generally have the second gas around like 21, 22-ish supply at the time if you want to go for like that faster starport. Yeah, so SoO at the moment, I'm really interested, and that is the third command center being dropped, by the way, so good call there. So I'm really interested in what SoO's plan is going to be. Is he going to be a bit more reactive and just try and, you know, when he sees weaknesses in the armor, just try and go for a gut punch, or is he going to actually go for something a little bit more decisive? It seemed like last game he made some good calls, found a lot of damage, but couldn't really stop Time from doing anything to him on his side of the map.
Yeah, it did seem like a bit of an issue, right? But he opened up with that early Roach timing attack that, while, it killed some SCVs, it was a 3 command center build, so it wasn't that hard for Time to come back from it. Now, if he doesn't do something like that, and it looks like that's not going to be the case, he's going to have a stronger economy in that mid-game where Time starts putting on the pressure, so I think it should be a bit easier for him to deflect those attacks.
Yeah, certainly. It's pretty easy to get up your 3 bases here on the King's Cove, which SoO is definitely doing here without too much of a fuss. The Reaper just delaying it for a little bit there, but the Queen, of course, pushing it back. And Time getting out that Viking nice and early as well, straight, fresh from that starport to make sure the Overlords stay back and away from his infrastructure. And still waiting to see what the actual game plan is here for the Terran. We actually don't know just yet. Like, the Terran could actually switch gears and drop those extra gases any moment here and really go for something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a real possibility. Like, there is one additional gas right there. He's just making Hellions, getting a Viking to push back some of these Overlords as well. Good play.
BC.
Yeah. You know what I like about this a lot, Maynard, is it looks exactly like the previous game.
Yeah.
But it's really quite different. Like, when you go BC, normally that is going to be into mech. But overall, you look at this build order, and it's so similar that SoO might misread it.
And SoO actually doesn't have any Overlord presence on that side of the map except for one in the natural, which the Viking just killed. So this actually could potentially very, very much catch SoO off guard here. The BC build, though, very popular on the Korean ladder. It's everywhere. So no doubt SoO has faced it hundreds of times.
Absolutely. Like, it is just like the bread and butter over here. It's such a strong play. Now, I'm interested to see which type of BC build this is going to be. Is it going to be the endless BCs, which is normally what we see nowadays, or is he going to focus more heavily on getting into a mech play? I mean, there are even bio follow-ups you can do, even though those have fallen out of favor a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the big indicator of that is usually Yamato. If Yamato cannon gets researched, weapons refit gets researched, that usually means more BCs and probably mech to follow up. If it's just a couple BCs, 1 or 2 BCs in the early stages of the game and no Yamato, I feel like we see Bio a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Into Marine tank from there on. And we are seeing a Spire here from SoO. And those extra factories going down the time. So there is going to be a mech follow-up here. But SoO could potentially have a very good tool here against time. Early Spire actually can be very, very effective.
Yeah, it really can. Now, I don't believe that he has a Roach Horn as of yet, but we've seen a lot of plays where Zerks try a Corruptor, Roach Raptor, Queen push against BCs and try to overwhelm before they can really get going. Of course, this is a mech play from time, but we'll see what SoO wants to do. He's upgrading Baneling's speed and carapace. Like, those aren't full commitments into like a Ling Bane Muta type of strategy. I
think SoO coming across the map with that Ling, seeing those extra Hellions and the gases being taken to third base indicates that time is playing mech. So SoO does have that that information that he needs, which means that the Roach Warren is going to be dropped here because you just really can't go Ling Bane against this style unless you have godlike Fungals, which are a long way away for SoO here. And there's that first Battle Cruiser. No Spore Crawler here and not that many Queens either, so some drone damage for time. Very much going to happen here.
Yeah, very nice so far. Look at that. 6 drones already falling. Barely any damage on the battlecruiser at the moment.
Ling's run by, but great map awareness there from time. Oh, the Hellions at the third base! The map awareness for SoO nowhere near as good. Oh my god, it's a barbecue, Artosis.
Yeah, that is a huge amount of damage going down. 17 drones falling. This is looking terrible for our second Korean Zerg.
Oh my god, he's already in a terrible spot here. SoO actually is going to use all of his lava to remake those drones. Oh, he's going to lose some more here. The Baneling's also dying. The Reaper's still alive. Drops a KD-8 grenade to get a few more shots on these Hellions. Oh man, SoO is in a world of hurt at the moment.
Yes, he is. This is really terrible for him right now. Very, very low on those workers overall. The BC going to sit and fight for a moment. Looks like tackle jump is not quite ready. He needs to follow this, though. He might actually get it away.
Oh, my God. That thing is going to tactical jump any second here. There it goes. Oh, that's so tilting for SoO. I thought at least he gets the battle cruiser. At least something goes right for SoO there, but it absolutely did not. He was attacking the Viking, unfortunately not target firing the BC, and misses an opportunity to get a 700 resource unit.
A big lack of execution there, unfortunately.
Look at those trades. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the 31 drones falling. Look at just the terrible army that SoO has right now. He's got like a handful of Corruptors and just a smattering of units. I almost feel like an attack right now could catch him off guard.
I think that might be the plan here for time. Just get another, there's a third battlecruiser on the way. Already these 2 battlecruisers feel like they could probably solo SoO by themselves.
I know,
and they're going to have Hellions and Cyclones, or rather Hellions and tanks with them. And 1-1 even being researched here. You know, his upgrades are further ahead on armories against this Zerg that's trying to go double Evo. Like, this is so bad for SoO. I can't even think of something that's going well for him here. I guess he is starting to get that drone count looking a little bit better. But all that lava is not units, Artosis. And the Queen count's not that impressive either.
No, it's really not. Like, it's going to be tough, no doubt about that. His army is mostly Ling Bane. I mean, depending on who you ask, Ling Bane can be good against Battle Mech. With the BCs there, I think it becomes a bit more difficult, but... See, he's moving in right now, starting to clear a little bit of creep. This should pave the way for some of his mech units to move out a bit better.
The dream for SoO here, I guess, is to get some really good biles with the Ravages. Like, that's one of the comeback tools that he has, but it is a bit of a stretch. A great Baneling connection, maybe time overextends with his Battle Mech army, which is very vulnerable to Banelings if they connect.
Yep.
But time just seems to be, like, we can see he's selecting this army. He's consistently aware of how far he is on creep and making sure that he's not overextending. Time being very, very careful not to throw this one.
Yeah, he is playing such a solid style right now. I love that he's not being over-aggressive, even though it might have felt like he could have after killing 31 drones. Instead, building his economy, building his upgrades, building the quality of his army.
Getting a hatchery cancel here thanks to the Cyclone lock on. The Hellions not so great against structures, but the Cyclone's definitely pretty good. Look at that army of SoO. Look at that unit count. 3 Roaches, 7 Banelings, 8 Corruptors, and 2 Ravages.
I know, it's so garbage, but you know what? He's got his drone count up nice and high, right?
It's a good drone count, but Time's still got an 80 SCVs.
Yeah.
It's going to make TY proud here.
Seriously.
Finds up with that work account.
Well, he might max out before then. But the BC's coming in once again. Let's see what they can get done.
Yeah,
he doesn't quite have Yamato yet. He actually just jumps right out. Doesn't want to waste his time at this point.
And doesn't want to waste the BCs either. They are actually a very, very good fighting unit. This is giving SoO a little bit of breathing space to get the units he definitely needs. So he's going to get some Infestors out. The Infestors won't really help him with the BCs yet, apart from, I guess, Infested Terrans, which are, they're okay. But mainly what you want here is Neural. You want a good number of Infestors, Neural, and you want to be able to catch the mech army of time with a Fungal so that the Banelings can connect. But that just seems like so much Artosis. I'm so worried for SoO here.
I think he's just going to die to this push. That is so many siege tanks. He doesn't have a counter to the siege tanks. He simply does not.
No.
He would need to clear all the Hellions first, and then have an army bigger than what he has now to take out the rest.
This push from Time certainly looks deadly here. SoO trying to avoid a knockout punch from this big push of Time. He's got 1-1 upgrades. The armories are still spinning back at home as well. And he's got Hellbats engaged, ready to tank that Ling Bane count of SoO, which is still not that impressive. This hatchery's going to go down for free. And SoO is still just being patient, amassing a bit more energy on these infestors, but it is just 2.
Well, he needs the perfect engagement to even have a chance in this game, so it makes sense, you know, let him have that base, maybe try these counterattacks. It doesn't look like any of them are doing a good job, though.
And unfortunately, he's getting a bit of damage done on the natural at least. You know, the Ling's finding a few more SCV kills, but Time's still in a really good spot economically. It's not really that consequential in this game. It's more so, can SoO stop this army from killing him right here, right now? Bile's going down, whiffing a little bit here. The infestors have enough energy to be useful. They're going to drop a fungal on the tanks for a little bit of extra damage, but they're not really getting rid of the Hellions either. And in come the Yamatos here from Time. His army doing so much damage.
All right, well, he gets rid of the BCs for now, but now those Corruptors are kind of dead weight. Oh my god, they didn't even jump home. They just jumped over here to destroy another base.
Yeah, trying to pull the Corruptors out of position here, and that was a kill, not a cancel. The tank and Hellbat Hellion force here of Time, and a couple smatterings of Cyclone still pushing through SoO. It's a slow and painful process here for Time, but he is just trying to be so careful here, trying to not take a bad fight. SoO is getting some Broodlords here, and this is going to make sure that he actually doesn't die right now. If these Broodlords finish, he can actually push Time back.
Yeah, it does look like that right now. So maybe he ends up saving this base, taking some damage though, right? Like he's had to make a lot of units here. They've just kind of been eating shots. And now, you know, back at home, it looks like more BCs for Time.
Double BC production from Time. So these Broodlords, they're very scary now against this big tank force with a lot of Hellions. Like they can actually just kill this army for free. But when it's 2 BCs at once being produced here from Time, he's also throwing in a lot more Cyclones as well. Then the Broodlords actually start to get counted. Yamato will kill those Broodlords quite quickly.
Looks like he is going to attack once again. A few tanks actually just kind of attacked by themselves onto that fifth base. Look at this beautiful attack from Time, trying to catch SoO out of position. Loses a BC though.
All right. The BC pickoff there was great. That means 1 less Yamato for Time. He's going to shoot down a couple of these Broodlords here before the BCs get taken down. He does manage to save them. SoO's Broodlords and the Queens in tandem actually finding a nice hold here with those Roaches on the front line. SoO staying alive. This is so impressive from SoO.
You know, that was a great hold, and it was definitely cost inefficient there for Time, but it feels like Time is building a slightly better army overall.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have a very, very powerful army again. With upgrades kicking in as well, he already has +2 armor on everything right now. So, the, you know, the Cyclones, the mech army, and also the air units benefiting from their armor upgrade, and +2 ship weapons on the way. So these BCs, if they get really high on upgrades, it feels like there's not really anything that kills them except for each other once they get Neural. Which I don't think Neural has been researched by SoO at all yet.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I think right now he's just focusing on Fungal and seeing what he can do with that.
Yeah, which is good against this little force here. If he fungals this army, he could definitely take it out.
Well, forces it back either way. You know, those infestors are going to be so crucial moving forward here, so he's got to be careful about where he ends up spending that mana as well.
Definitely. And Time pulling him off creep here, but enough Roaches and Ravages continue to chase. Reinforcements from Time, though. Shu on the other foot here as the Terran catches and kills this small force of SoO. And SoO doesn't really have that much of a bank at the moment. Like, he does have enough to try and get another force up, like maybe replenish some Roaches, replenish some Corruptors, but Time is starting to get the better upgrades here. These BCs, all with tactical jump available, looking to try and hug the edge of the map and look for more economic damage.
Yeah. It looks like they're about to have their, well, halfway through their +3 armor upgrade, which is really, really nice here as well. Focusing so heavily on the BCs. He just got Liberator range as well, which I think is a great add. And look at that, 3 more starports on the way.
Yeah, big Sky Terran transition here for Time. So we see a lot more BCs, a lot more Liberators as well. And potentially also a lot more Vikings if SoO gets up, a lot of Broodlords and a lot of Vipers as well. Corruptors coming on in, and they're going to eventually... Still needs to finish off those Liberators there. Oh, those BCs hitting wherever the Corruptors aren't.
Oh, targeting down the hatchery as well. I just love these moves from Time. You know, you sacrifice a few units, but the Fungal going off, this can make a huge difference here. If he can continually hit Fungals, he could end up killing all these BCs.
He could potentially, and he does get one there. Another chain Fungal from SoO. He has lost his Infestors now, so the rest of them should escape. But that's a base kill, that's a production facility, and 7 more drones going down for SoO. Time still in a 9 SCV lead, and with more bases.
Yeah, everything's still looking very, very good for Time here. Just look at the production tab in the top left here. Time has so much that's being made. He's continuing to expand. SoO is just remaking bases that Time kills.
Yeah, this is really just the style that we saw from Maru, a lot of WCG, lots of VCs, and then with your mineral bank, command center, command center, command center. So non-stop scans, non-stop mules, and your economy is always going to be gorgeous. And look at this Broodlords just trading there against the Hellions, pushing him back from denying his creep.
But you know what? Eventually, SoO is going to have to change his army up a little bit, right? He's going to have an army that can take down the BCs, which can be very, very difficult. You need a lot of infestors and a lot of corruptors for that.
Well, SoO's going to try and make something happen here. He's got a lot of Broodlords and a lot of Corruptors, so the the ground army of Time's going to have definitely a hard time here. But I think SoO is not respecting the amount of BCs that are actually in his army for Time. And a little battle mech army coming down here to the south to engage the Banelings and the Roaches. SoO actually trading out nicely here, and actually killing some BCs as well, and the Planetary.
Oh my God! Like SoO is just doing so well. Look at that, 2-3 BCs falling.
Yeah, Time actually slipping a little bit here. Losing those BCs is a big deal. Now, SoO still doesn't have as much army supply as Time. A lot of the army of Time is up in the sky. He's got lots of Liberators there with +2 attack. Their anti-air splash is actually kind of impressive at the moment. And they're going to turn and fight there against the Corruptors with the BCs helping out. SoO's Corruptors, though, trading so well against this army.
Beautifully done there by SoO, and it really feels like as we get later here, SoO is outplaying Time in that late game.
I mean, you mentioned he's not a late game Zerg, but for some reason this late game looks pretty tidy. Time was holding all the cards here in this game, but SoO is definitely making the right moves here to fight back.
He really is. To pick off that many BCs at this point in the game, where really as Terran, your one goal is to keep your BCs alive, that is just brutal for Time. And now he's taking a lot of damage, lost a couple bases, and SoO continues to push.
Yeah, I mean, we had a dire production situation for SoO, and now it's a dire production situation for Time. He's trying to squeeze out more Cyclones, he's trying to get more BCs, but the BCs take 1,000 years to build. It takes a long time for them to be out here and actually fighting. So the army supply is actually worse than it looks here on the screen. With SoO, a lot of his army already here and already in Time space.
Yeah, how do you really deal with this army right now? It's just so strong with the Broodlords that can push back everything, and the Corruptors are going to save them against small numbers of BCs and Vikings.
I feel like a lot of Hellbats to tank the Broodlings while the Cyclones try and get rid of the army in the sky.
Yeah.
But it is so difficult, though. You're absolutely right, Artosis. Caustic Spray on that Planetary. Time just evacuates. He's lost 3 bases within a minute here. His economy hit really, really hard. And his mech army is actually not going to try and hold on. He's just going in for a counterattack.
I tell you, this looked like such a promising game from Time. I was starting to think that, are we just going to have the non-Koreans destroy everything this week? But as we get later into the game, we see that there are still some flaws in the way that Time plays this BC strategy.
Yeah, the BC does survive, but it gets tactical jumped all the way on the other side of the map here. Time really trying to force SoO to come back home. He wants him away from his side of the map. SoO unrelenting. He starts to pull back. A lot of good shots there on those Lings. The Infestors also left behind, but they get a nice bungle on the Hellions. SoO can actually pick off a few of these mech units before they pull back.
Well, maybe he can deal with everything left over as the Corruptors, I believe, are on their way. Yeah, right now to get these BCs. They will end up killing the BCs with no jumps, but maybe Time can make this worthwhile still.
Got a Broodlord and a lot of Ravages there. The Corruptors certainly a big problem for these battlecruisers. They just Yamato whatever they can and pull back to the corner. They did the job, though. They pulled SoO away from these infrastructures so that Time could try and survive. He still has an all-right economy. His mineral bank, though, leaving a lot to be desired. Continuously making battlecruisers is not really an option for Time anymore if he can't get those extra bases up.
Well, he's eliminating little pieces of the army that were left on this side of the map, but SoO has those additional bases that Time is kind of struggling with right now. His SCV count, though, is still pretty healthy, so if he can kind of stabilize here, he can remake his army very strongly.
You can't make mistakes against SoO. He needs to be respected. He is one of the best Zergs in career of all time, and he really will not let you get away with any mistakes. It looks like Time's actually misplaced that CC a little bit there, but, you know, he is just playing so frantically right now.
Yeah. Well, he's also adding in some Thors here, which I think is kind of cool. You know, if you're playing this type of game where you're against all these air units, you can't be making against that many Corruptors, you know, a bunch of Vikings or something suddenly on this low of an economy. So adding those Thors in, maybe that'll give him the little edge he needs to push across the map and get some counter damage done.
Well, they're certainly a lot cheaper than the battlecruiser. They build a lot faster, and they are very, very good against Broodlords. If SoO's left with just a Broodlord army with Corruptors like he was before when he first initially attacked, and Time has like 6 or 8 Thors. I mean, these already have +3 armor, Artosis. They don't have attack upgrades, really. Well, but it's not like SoO has amazing, carapace upgrades on his air units either.
Yeah, in fact, he has none of them. So, yeah, I guess it's still going to be completely fine. He's up an upgrade in that regard. So right now, Time moving in, wants to pick off another base. Here come the Broodlords. He's got to be careful about this. Vikings coming in, starting to get a few shots off as well.
Yeah, those Thors also helping out from the ground now. The hatchery does go down. Time pulling back, using the Hellbats to cover his escape against the Broodlings. And as a thought count, he's making 3 at a time here, and I actually think this is really good for Time, but SoO correctly changing his composition, throwing in a few more Roaches to help him out against that Battle Mech army with the Thors as well. Roaches are fantastic against Thors.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually like the addition of the Broodlords. If you have a small amount, the Thors will kill them so quickly, but if you get enough Broodlings actually clogging the ground, you can kind of fight against this army like that. So it seems like some very good moves going from SoO.
And nice move here from Time as well, catching an undefended drone line, gets 13 drones on the barbecue just like that. And he's knocked SoO down to 55 workers here. And once again, like, SoO does have a bit of a bank here. Like, it's not nothing. It's something.
No.
He can replenish some forces here, but he's not maxed out. And Time managed to equalize supply here with 3 upgraded air units, and he just got +2 for those Thors and those Hellions as well.
You know, I keep looking at this gas bank Time. I would not mind seeing a Raven in this army at this point. I think an anti-armor missile could be awesome right now.
Safe scans for clearing up creep.
Sure, absolutely.
Anti-armor missile, like you said, yeah, for sure. Interference matrix maybe on these Vipers or these Infestors if you're really lucky. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the Raven. Or even just try and throw in some Ghosts, but that seems like a bit of a pipe dream here. He doesn't really have time to do that.
Look at how many Thors he has. 9 Thors pushing forward right now. Let's see what he can get done.
And the Corruptors aren't useful anymore here, Artosis, so that's a lot of army supply that's not going to help out too much. Fungal's going down the Thors to get a little bit of DPS on them. Blinding Cloud helping out a lot here for SoO. Great Blinding Cloud. The Vial's going to connect on the Thors as well. The Broodlord's getting thinned out. In comes some Liberators to help out Time, but they're a little bit late to the party. Can SoO hold on here?
Well, the Corruptor's very happy to go up and erase these Liberators as quickly as they possibly can. It looks like the Thors are going to be knocked out at the end of the day, and another beautiful hold by SoO.
Oh, and look at how much SCV damage you're doing outside the map as well. This Ling run by SoO erasing 24 SCVs. Time's economy was better than SoO's all game long, but not anymore. And that important mineral bank for Time that we keep talking about, that lack of mineral bank, now it's an even worse problem for him. He's remaking all his SCVs, though. 5 SCVs at once being produced from every single command center he's got.
Yeah, but is he going to be able to actually rebuild that? His army supply has dropped dramatically. His actual standing army is very weak right now. It's like a little bit of battle mech and then one of everything else. So it seems like a very uphill battle here for Time if he's going to take this game.
Yeah, this started off so well for him. He was holding all the cards. SoO's been making some great movements here with his army comp, and he catches another battlecruiser. That is a unit that Time cannot replenish. Making battlecruisers is not going to happen anymore in this game for him.
Yeah, I think that is it as far as the battlecruiser story goes. It's, you know, it's unfortunate he had so many of them early on. It feels like that's where SoO started to turn the game around, is when he started to kill those off.
Certainly. SoO's Broodlord, Infestor, and Corruptor army here is still so frightening. Time's uses, like his tools against this have been thinned out so much, as you mentioned, Artosis. He only has 3 Thors now, 5 Cyclones, a ton of Hellions, which he's got to throw away at this drone line. SoO reacting quickly with the drone pool.
Oh, looks like he might even go for the hatchery since he does have some Cyclones in there as well. Trying to get something done, trying to trade somewhere here. But it seems like he's just going to be pushed back once again.
Yeah, SoO making the right choices here. Very, very nicely done. 11 Broodlords and 13 Corruptors. That is such a scary air army for SoO. He's not even throwing upgrades into this army either. Like, I mean, I guess the Broodlings technically have upgrades on them as well with those +2 melee.
You know, the game has been so crazy and scrappy for so long. If you think the game is going to end really soon, upgrades are not a good idea. And I feel like they're both kind of stuck in that mentality at the moment.
I agree. It's just, it feels like it's been a knife fight for a very long time. They put down their guns, they've emptied their clips, and they're just pulling out the knives from their boot and they're going into a melee battle here. So this is very, very intense and definitely could end at any moment here. SoO climbing up in supply, getting closer and closer to maxed out. He's finally spent that gas and mineral bank as well, by the way. And SoO needs these fresh hatcheries to finish up if he wants to continue to amass that army. Time knows this, though, and he's sending down Hellions to try and hit those hatcheries before they finish up.
He's just trying to be very mobile here and get something done, but it feels like the defense from SoO is just a bit too strong. Like, how do you actually get in here and do anything? Okay, a few drones killed, a hatchery picked off, but when you look at the actual army that's being made, it's not that impressive for a heads-up fight as of yet.
Where's that Liberator going? Well, this hatchery still damaged from earlier. It does get picked off.
Ooh!
Yeah, that's a nice one there. That's a gas mining base for SoO.
Yeah, very, very nice indeed. He's also starting to add Thors in once again, by the way. Building 2 at a time. He's already got 6, so going up to 8. But can he get that proper engagement to actually take down the Broodlords? Last time he had such a hard time against the Fungals and Blinding Clouds.
Yeah, it feels like if he wanted to go for another engagement, it needs to be the one that seals the deal. He can't take any more risks here with those Thors. He cannot throw them away. It's his only hope of beating SoO. And, I mean, SoO's just looking for any of these fresh bases of Time because Time really needs mineral and gas income at this point in the game. The gas bank, that 2,000 gas bank is gone. The mineral bank's starting to get up a little bit higher. Planetary up here 4 times, so he needs to be careful if the Corruptors want to come up there and Caustic spray it. He doesn't have any turret coverage at the moment. Oh, nice catch with these Broodlings, getting a few of those units. Any unit kill here is actually very important for both players.
Yeah, their money is so low at this point. The Blue Flame Hellions coming in, get a few drones here and there, so worthwhile, I guess. Broodlord's still kind of just flying around in the air, defending these bases, kind of zoning out the Battle Mech army that's been running around all game.
But the Battle Mech army, for some reason, keeps finding damage, Artosis. You know, he has a couple of hatchery kills on the bottom and the side of the map, the 6 o'clock, sort of 6:30 low bases.
This is like what Time's skill set really seems to be, right? This kind of multitasking, running around, finding weak points, and hitting them, right? It's when we see the big, full-on army battles that he's fallen off a little bit.
Both players had enough breathing space and also money, for that matter, to get +3 attack on their armies. And that means these Thors are going to be hitting very, very hard when the Broodlords come forward without any of those Flyer Carapace upgrades.
That's a good point. Well, Neural is on the way, so what are they going to hit hard? Zerg units or Terran units?
Both. Now, the Thors do have +3 armor, so they are quite tanky. And Neural is on the way. Now, SoO realizes that he's under attack here, amasses his forces down to the south. Neural takes a while to finish. Yeah. This army from Time definitely has, it has the cojones, it has the ability, it has the power, but will it work out?
Look at that, he's actually picked off some of these infestors. That is super important. And bringing these Liberators up as well makes it very difficult for the infestors to actually get up there and cast their spells. And the base is taken down immediately.
Certainly, and now SoO just has this janky base that only has 1 extractor on it, and he's only got 100 gas in the bank. Can Time make magic happen here? The Liberators sieging up, they're going to help out with the Broodlings and infested Terrans if they get thrown down. It doesn't look like there's more Blinding Clouds here from SoO. He goes for a counterattack here with the Roach Ravager to try and make this a bit more of an all-in for Time.
Oh, I like it a lot. SoO is doing everything he can in his power right now to get that counter damage done. Time's army looks very strong right now, but can you actually push through here?
Scans to get that vision for those Broodlords. Would love to get in range. The Broodlings pushing those Thors back, but they are inching closer and closer here to the air army of SoO. This Planetary, very tough for SoO to trade effectively against here with the Roach Ravager army. Oh man, Time's army. SoO just needs more time and more infestors, I feel, but I don't know if he can. He just doesn't have the gas.
I tell you, you really see these two armies chunking each other right now as well. Those Broodlords getting low, and as soon as they fire a volley, it gets very scary as well. Here come the infestors. Maybe he can get some fungals down on these Thors.
Feels like SoO also needs some roaches here or something, like a meat shield for these Thors, because they can just get closer and closer. Liberator's being used here to try and keep that Planetary alive. This Planetary gets up, that's really bad news for SoO.
Yeah, he's really busy with his Broodlords, so there's no true way to break through this right now. Trying to harass as much as he can. Look at that, kills another base.
Yeah, that base was one shot earlier thanks to the Cyclone doing that damage. The Liberator's keeping this Planetary alive as well. Ling's coming in to try and help out with the DPS on that Planetary. Will the Liberators be enough to stop this from happening? I mean, he is killing a few SCVs. SoO just throwing in more and more units here.
My God.
I mean, I wasn't kidding. SoO really needs this base not to happen, so he is throwing a lot of resources away here. But the Planetary is up.
Yeah, I don't know if he, well, is he going to end up killing it?
The infestors are all dying! Oh no, SoO! Miscontrolling those infestors! That was his big play there to be able to use that energy to stop this air army of Time, or the ground army rather.
And look at this.
He's stuck in the corner.
He's between a rock and a hard place right now. Thors and Liberators and Cyclones all just flanking him everywhere. Sure, he got the Planetary, but at the cost of his ground army.
What is harder, a rock or a +3 mech army? Like, this thing is just so hard for SoO to break through. He's not going to be able to do it. He's going to lose all of his units here. He does kill that Planetary, so that's a glimmer of hope for SoO. But look at the army supply advantage. And SoO, once again, he's had a bad bank for a while here, so he's not going to be able to max out again for quite a while.
There's 14 3/3 Thors right now.
Oh my God.
And they're against
that's actually just not stoppable.
0-0 Broodlords.
And how many infestors?
Zero infestors.
Zero, which means this is very, very rough for SoO. Nice Blinding Cloud, though. A lot of those Thors, like 4 or 5 of them taken out of the battle, taking some free damage there from those Broodlings.
Beautiful. Beautiful spell casting right there between the Broodlings holding everything back and the Blinding Cloud not allowing the Thors to shoot.
Oh, nice.
Just amazing execution defensively here from SoO.
That one Viper worth its weight in gold here. And even just Vipers are tough for SoO to get. He is still down a bit in supply, but really evened out that army supply with those trades there, keeping him alive in this game. Damn, this has been scrappy.
I tell you what, I was afraid that Tasos was going to be insufferable with having that first series be the best. But, I mean, this game, as far as I can tell, is as good as the first series. So, like, I think we're winning Maynard.
That's right. As Hellions getting a little bit of drone damage there. Once again, SoO's drone damage actually pretty substantial at this point. He only has 20. And he's got to be like, well, I have 150 minerals. Do I make 3 drones right now? What do I do with this?
He lost 4. This is not a winning proposition. Now more Blue Flame Hellions coming in as well. Look at this, a couple Thors coming up, but not being targeted.
Yeah, they're not being targeted here, and they're also split away for the army. And come those Liberators for a little bit of that splash damage, but they get a little bit overextended as well. Oh man, the economy of SoO just doesn't really exist anymore. These Hellbats denying that base completely. I actually kind of would like the Hellbats to be with this army to tank those Broodlings for time. Like, am I wrong here? Just make those Broodlings not too much of a threat for these Thors while they do that counterattack.
Well, I tell you what, if you shut down all of their mining, I'm okay with it.
Get the Viper, he times it down and kills the Viper. No more blinding clouds.
That is a huge moment right there, and SoO just does not have the money to replace anything at this point. But look at this, he's coming in strongly right now. He has a single infestor there. The Broodlords throwing down so many Broodlings on these Thors.
Yeah, these +2 Broodlings doing a bit of damage though, but these Thors are so high there in those armor points. They turn and fight against the Broodlords. Does not have enough. A Fungal also trying to stop those Thors from escaping. Big moment here for both players.
I just don't even know how SoO is having such good trades against these 3/3 Thors right now. Beautiful moves, zoning everything correctly, chasing them down with these Broodlings as well.
And the Broodlings really just doing more and more damage to Thors as they try to pull back to the SCV line, probably for repairs here. They're also hitting the Corruptors and not the Broodlords, which is definitely their job. They need the Broodlords to die. Look at that burst damage on that Thor at the back line here. Every time the Broodlings come down from above, they're going to get one of them here. The other 2 very, very low in hit points on the front line, very deep in the red. That Planetary being used as a bastion here for time to try and buy time. But the Broodlords, it just doesn't seem like he has enough Thors anymore.
Yeah, it really does not. That runaway, he lost so many Thors on, like half of his Thors dying trying to get home. He's added a few Cyclones in here and there. Neither of them can really afford anything.
I mean, time needs everything on the front line right here, right now. Bring everything into this fight. F2 if you have to. He needs to stop these Broodlords from killing these Thors. SCV's also being used to repair a little bit here at this base. The Cyclone's coming in for the left. Can time actually kill these Broodlords? Caustic Spray being used here. Might as well with those Corruptors to try and get that base to the north. But the Broodlords are being picked off. Artosis. Time just inches his way.